9 days after a shooting took the lives of 6 people in Nashville, Tennessee, 3 of those victims being elementary-age children, students across the Triad, the state, even the country walked out of school sending a message to their elected officials. The call was for action against gun violence. Mark Strassman shares more on the nationwide protest.
Seattle, Charlotte, Boston. Coast-to-coast outrage about gun violence. Students staged a noon walkout in protest, including in Uvalde, Texas, where a school gunman last year massacred 19 children and 2 adults.
Help! There's gunshots up at the church!
Last week's shooting at Nashville's Covenant School took 6 lives, 3 9-year-olds and 3 adults, including Catherine Kuntz, the head of the Christian school. Among the hundreds today grieving the lifelong educator, Ann Caudle, a close friend.
With each day, I think of the layers of loss to our school family, to our family, to our friends, and to the community.
Like responding officers, Kuntz heard the shots and had one focus: stopping the carnage.
There was a confrontation, I'm sure. You can tell the way she was laying in the hallway.
Caudle's not surprised.
Her priority would have been to save the kids, even at risk to herself.
Her priority would have been everyone. Everyone in danger in that moment, without reservation.
Yesterday, students walked out of Grimsley and Page High Schools in Greensboro and Williams High School in Burlington, as well as schools all across the Triad. WFMY News 2 spoke to students about why this cause mattered so much to them.
The problem is bigger than us here. We need everybody to kind of band together to make change, to make a positive change. Because this is our voice and this is our lives and this is our education at stake.
Even just recently, we had a couple people actually come into our school with guns or with different weapons. And I mean, sometimes we heard about it and then sometimes we didn't.
Some people don't take it as seriously as others. Some people joke about it because we're so desensitized to this. But definitely we think about preparing for this kind of stuff. We talked about it. I know every day, I know this is a little bit off topic, every day I go to school, I'm worried that something like this is going to happen.
We're out here today to bring a new voice to our generation. I feel that a lot of people in my generation are sometimes scared to speak out because of everything that's just going on. We have such crazy schedules, such fear, when right now we should be raising our voices and being stronger together.
There is a divide among lawmakers here. Democrats are pushing to strengthen gun laws with the hopes of reducing gun violence and deaths. Republicans are focusing on strengthening Second Amendment rights while increasing gun safety education, school safety, and addressing mental health concerns. WFMY News 2 reached out to Representative John Hardister, a Republican who represents Guilford County. Now, he did not accept an interview request, but he did share the following statement about the walkouts, saying, "The students have a First Amendment right to express their opinions. I believe more needs to be done to improve school safety. We may disagree on certain laws related to Second Amendment rights, but we all agree that public safety is vital and we need to take steps to address mental health and school safety." Now, in the other chamber and with the other party, Senator Gladys Robinson is a Democrat who represents Guilford County. She says her and her Democratic colleagues are doing what they can to increase gun safety, but they don't have enough bipartisan support.
Unfortunately, the legislature, in passing the recent gun laws, has failed the students of our state because we should be protecting them. And if we were taking the guns off the streets, requiring gun permits, mental health checks, etc., I believe that we could avoid a lot of what is happening. So I'd say to the people of North Carolina, if you don't like the way it's handled, you need to make the changes.
Well, that recent gun law that Senator Robinson mentioned was passed last week after Republicans were able to override Governor Roy Cooper's veto in the House and the Senate. The bill immediately repealed the state's pistol purchase permit, and that means that gun buyers do not need to get a permit from their local sheriff's office before buying a handgun. Later this year, in July, gun owners will be able to carry a concealed weapon in churches that share property with a school as long as it is not during school hours. Non-sworn law enforcement employees will also be able to carry concealed weapons in those law enforcement offices, as well as they have the law enforcement's leader's position. The last section of the new law is all about gun safety, and it requires the State Department of Public Safety to work with the Department of Health and Human Services and the Wildlife Resource Commission to launch a 2-year safe gun storage initiative. Among the first effects since that bill became law, Triad gun shops say business is up. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake talked to Triad gun shops about how the new law is impacting sales.
A drastic increase in sales.
Gun sales.
Definitely upwards of over 100%.
Going off with a bang.
It's been impressive. We've run out of firearms quite a bit, so we've had to resupply. We have orders coming in every day this week.
Since last Wednesday, when House Republicans voted to toss out pistol permit requirements, gun shops say they're getting a lot more customers.
A lot of people didn't have time to go get permits during business hours at the Sheriff's Department.
But before you panic about who's able to purchase a gun, there are a few things to note.
They're under the assumption that they can just come in and purchase a pistol. They're still not quite aware that we still have to do a NICS background check.
Bill supporters say the sheriff screening process is no longer necessary in light of updates to the national background check system.
So we still have the ATF has a form, a 4473 form, which they have to fill out, and it is a felony to lie on this form.
All we're doing is freeing up the sheriff to turn around and do other things that they need to be doing, whether it's going after, bad people, traffic stops, anything like that. It frees up one less person.
We have more coverage on North Carolina's newest gun law and what gun law changes we could be seeing next. It's all on WFMYnews2.com. Just search for Dig Into It.